Members of the Labour Party commend Supreme Court judgment, urges United Front to surmount challenges. Federal Executive Council urges full implementation of Naira for crude deal. Kogi women stripped half naked in protest over incessant killings. And the foreign thing, Niger adopts Hausa as national language. Hello, good evening and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Members of the Labour Party across Nigeria have been advised to always stand firm and be focused on the ideals of the party, irrespective of religion or ethnicity. The governor of Abure State, Alex Oti, gave the advice during the Labour Party National Executive Council meeting and stakeholders interactive town hall in Abuja. Trust TV's correspondent Kabir Lawal files in the report.
Governor Oti, while addressing party faithful at the meeting, said the Supreme Court judgment, which removed Abure and recognized Nenadi Usman, will help the party to strategize ahead of future elections and ensure that the party remain focused.
48-page document was very clear in saying that it is all of you seated here that constitute the leadership of the party. I also want to make the point that we are not abiding people. We sat on the 4th of September 2024 in Umuahia, where we unanimously elected a 29-member caretaker committee. Shortly after that exercise, our brothers on the other side went to court and got a judgment.
The 2023 presidential candidate of the party, Peter Obi, cautioned members of the party to remain calm, resolute, and urged the new fraction of the party, led by Senator Nenadi Usman, to chart a new course for the party and bring it back to the ideals of the Nigerian worker.
In this case, the court has taken the rightful position. They've done the right thing. It is for all of us to go out. We are not saying we've won. Labour Party won. The future of Labour Party is the very party that we have been a party of choice today in this country, if not for the delay and going through that process, would have been Labour Party.
Peter Obi's running mate in the 2023 elections, Deti Baba Ahmed, reiterated the party's collective resolve to move it forward and also commended the Supreme Court's judgment for putting the party in the right direction. The chairman, National Working Committee of the party, Senator Nenadi Usman, assured members that the committee will carry every member along as enshrined in the party's constitution.
Now that we're back on course, please hold this instructive argument. We are the ones with the votes that was reduced to this. So if anybody is looking for any other platform, it is Labour.
You will recall that on Friday, 4th April 2025, the Supreme Court did justice by holding that the confirmation of Barrister Abure by the Court of Appeal was wrong and illegal. It is therefore with a great sense of relief, gratitude to Almighty God, and utmost responsibility to Nigerians alike that I am happy to communicate that the consequence of the decision of the Supreme Court of Nigeria is that the Labour Party can now start on its journey for a rebirth.
Immediately after the meeting, party members headed to INEC office to submit the document given to the party by the Supreme Court in the aftermath of ruling which dissolved the leadership of Julius Abure. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Labour Congress NLC has urged Julius Abure to respect the recent Supreme Court ruling that nullified his tenure as national chairman of the Labour Party, warning that any defiance of the judgment amounts to a grave affront to the rule of law. In a statement signed by NLC President Joe Ajero, the Congress condemned Abure's rejection of the April 4 Supreme Court judgment, which declared the expiration of his tenure and invalidated the leadership of his National Working Committee. The NLC said Abure's continued release of press statements asserting that his leadership of the party remains intact is utter impunity and a reckless assault against the grain of constitutionality. The NLC called on all Nigerian workers and members of the Labour Party to be alert, warning that it would no longer tolerate the antics of inconsequential characters like Abure and vowed to resist any attempt to undermine the country's legal institutions. Additionally, the Congress called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to comply with the Supreme Court's judgment by removing Abure's name and that of his committee from all official platforms and records. The Federal Executive Council has officially directed the full implementation of the suspended Naira for crude agreement with local refiners. The Ministry of Finance disclosed this on its official X handle titled Update on the Crude and Refined Product Sales in Naira initiative on Wednesday. Recall that the first phase of the 6-month deal involving the federal government, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, and Dangote Petroleum Refinery ended March 31, 2025. It has not been renewed, and the Dangote Refinery has since stopped selling refined petroleum products in Naira due to the non-renewal of the Naira for crude deal. In a new update on Wednesday, the committee said the policy is not temporary but a long-term plan to cut Nigeria's dependence on foreign exchange for petroleum. This came after a key meeting on Tuesday to review progress and tackle ongoing issues. A fresh setback has hit Nigeria's oil production targets as members of the Ishekiri community in the Niger Delta have shut down operations at the 28,000 barrel per day Escravos facility in Ogidigbe. The protest, linked to grievances over proposed electoral ward delineation, threatens the federal government's ability to meet its 2025 budget projections. In a bold and emotional protest, elderly women from Okere in Kogi State, Yagba West local government area stripped half naked on Wednesday, April 9, to decry the relentless killings, kidnappings and terror attacks by armed herdsmen and kidnappers. Chanting mournful songs and wailing through the streets, the women called on authorities to end the violence that has gripped their community for months. Six people, including a pregnant woman, have been killed and several homes destroyed in a renewed outbreak of violence over a long-standing land dispute between the Ndukwe community in Amasiri, Afikpo local government area, and Okporojo in Oso of Eda local government area, both of Ebonyi State. According to local sources, the renewed hostilities resulted in the destruction of properties worth millions of naira and deepening a conflict that has plagued the neighboring communities for decades. The dispute has previously claimed numerous lives and caused extensive property damage estimated in billions of naira. Fear of further violence has prompted residents of Eda to avoid the Amasiri road, opting instead to travel through Afikpo town to ensure their safety. Chairman of Eda local government area, Chima Ekumankama, confirmed the renewed violence and said security operatives had been deployed to restore peace and prevent further escalation. Describing the renewed violence as unfortunate, Mwachi appealed to residents of Amasiri to remain calm while the government works towards a lasting resolution to the land dispute. Over in Kano State, the fire service has confirmed that 2 women have lost their lives in a pond in the Gazawa local government area of the state. The public relations officer of the service, Samino Abdullahi, made this known in a statement in Kano on Wednesday. He said the corpses were handed over to Musa Garba, a police constable at the Gezawa Police Division. The PRO advised the general public to desist from going near open waters and rivers to prevent unfortunate incidents. We go over to Lagos State, where the government on Wednesday urged motorists and other road users to use alternative routes following a crash involving a container-laden truck at the Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge near Admiralty Road. The truck destroyed the height barrier structure and blocked the access road. The incident occurred on Tuesday evening when the truck collided with the steel height barrier while attempting to ascend the bridge with a 40-foot container. As a result, traffic flow has been severely disrupted, causing significant gridlock at the Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge and surrounding areas. Lagos State Emergency Management Agency (LASEMA) and the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority (LASMA) were promptly deployed to manage the situation and restore smooth traffic movement. He also advised motorists and road users not currently in traffic to use alternative routes such as Ikoyi-Kingsway Road to reach their destinations. Customers are trooping to the popular Maitama Farmers Market in Abuja, praising its support for local farmers and small agri-businesses while ensuring fresh, quality produce is accessible to residents across the Federal Capital Territory. Trust TV's correspondent Abure Galadima completes the story.
It is a community space where fresh produce is sold directly from farmers to consumers, cutting out middlemen, supporting local agriculture and boosting food security. This is a goal behind a renewed drive by authorities to expand farmers' market across the FCT. In Maitama, that version appears to be working. Customers says they keep returning because of the freshness and quality of the produce, especially vegetables and fruit, which they say stand out from conventional markets.
Come here and see our fresh fruits and vegetables of your choice, and you are free to select the one you want. But in other supermarkets and other markets, you cannot select any. Rather, you can take from the pack, the already packaged for your own price. But here in farmers market, as you can see it yourself, all the things are put in according to their place of arrangement.
To a great extent, at least the prices is okay for as far as I'm concerned, and then as far for anybody that the location is a close proximity to a lot of places in town, so for me it's a very good location.
Traders and shop owners are also reaping the benefits. Many says the market sees strong daily turnout running from morning till evening and offering steady income for small vendors.
So far so good. The market has been a very good market, both the sellers and the buyers. Convenience and the security. We are seeing a lot of expatriates and they are happy with the market. 70% of our customers, they are all foreigners. So we go extra mile to make sure we have their product so they won't go far.
The only way here is only farmers market here in Maitama. We have many like Oguzape and Otako. But normally here in Abuja, metropolis is farmers market in Maitama. When you come to the farmers market in Maitama, you get the fresher fruits and the affordable price. And many people are enjoying to come to buy fruit and vegetable here.
But there are growing concern over space. Market leaders says the location is becoming overcrowded and are appealing to the government to allocate more land, as visitors now include people from outside Abuja and even foreign nationals.
What I can suggest is that as if you look at the market is too small. If the government can maybe allocate another good site and it's bigger than the Maitama Farmers Market, it will be okay.
Meanwhile, a newly commissioned Otako Farmers Market unveiled by FCT Minister Nelson Wike tells a different story. When Trust TV visited the site, it was locked and inactive, with no trading taking place, raising questions about planning and implementation. Abubakar Abdullahi Galadima, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation has announced plans to pay the first tranche of liquidation dividends to depositors of Heritage Bank, whose operating license was revoked by the Central Bank of Nigeria on June 3, 2024. According to the NDIC Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Bello Hassan, the corporation has made significant progress in disposing of the bank's fiscal assets and recovering debts. Hassan will disclose this on Wednesday during NDIC's special day at the ongoing 36th Inaugural International Trade Fair, stated that the NDIC has been working diligently to ensure that all depositors recover their funds as soon as possible. He disclosed that the corporation has already paid insured deposits of up to 5 million naira per depositor within 4 days of the bank's closure. Represented by the Southeast Zonal Coordinator and Assistant Director, Pamela Roberts, the Managing Director urged depositors who have not yet received their payments to come forward and provide the necessary documentation, including bank verification numbers and alternate bank account numbers to facilitate payment. The National Emergency Management Agency in Lagos, along with other important groups, have received 144 Nigerians returning from Libya at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport Cargo Terminal, Ikeja, Lagos. According to a statement from NIM's X-handle on Wednesday, the group included 89 men, 35 women, 17 children, and 3 infants. They arrived on a chartered Boeing aircraft from Al-Burak with a registration number 5ADMG. The evacuation was organized by the International Organization for Migration in cooperation with NEMA, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Nigerian Immigration Service, the Department of State Services, Port Health Services, and the Nigerian Police Force. Two more stories. In Lagos State, the Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, has stated that a lone bus accident at Total before the emergency point inward toll gate has claimed 2 lives. Confirming the incident on its X-handle on Wednesday, LASMA said the deceased bodies have been taken to the hospital, assuring that its men are on the ground doing the needful as traffic backlog has extended to Secretariat at the moment. Another development, LASMA stated that a high-tension wire that dropped on the Echo Bridge main carriageway has led to the diversion of motorists trying to link Echo Bridge to Alaka Inward Costain to connect their various destinations. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs, Bashir Adini, has called for greater technical intervention and partnerships that will address the challenges facing the West and Central Africa regions' customs administrations. Adeni, who made this call at the 4th Conference of Development Partners of the World Customs Organization's WCO for the West and Central Africa region in Abuja, listed such challenges to include porous borders, inadequate digital infrastructure, limited interconnectivity, and technical barriers. Bill Sampson has more.
The conference was attended by Ebenezer Tafili, representing the Secretary General of the World Customs Organization, Amadou Konate, Vice Chair of WCO, West and South Africa, and Director General of Mali Customs, the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, heads of customs from various West and Central African countries, and donors and partners from around the world. Participants highlighted the challenges facing the region, identified priority initiatives, and emphasized the importance of regional cooperation.
I would like to highlight 5 priority initiatives that should warrant our attention and the support of our partners. The first is the projects connected with regional interconnectivity. The second project is the competency-based human resource management system. The third is related to technology-driven illicit trade detection projects. The fourth project is the African Continental Free Trade Area Implementation Support. This conference has been placed under the theme Partner Mobilization around the priority projects of the Dominion region. I jointly pledge to meet the modernization goals and performance targets of customs administration.
We need to cooperate so that we can overcome the challenges facing us in our region. That's why the conference is important. Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, emphasized the importance of the conference and the government's commitment.
The timing of this conference is particularly significant. We all know it's an unfolding scenario. Global economic uncertainty occasioned by the retreat from the rules-based world trading system and order that we have known for decades. And now we have a reciprocal tariff regime, the consequences of which are unfolding. Under our President's renewed hope agenda, Nigeria is looking to transform the economy, stabilize the macroeconomic environment so that it creates conducive environment for investment, by domestic investors, by foreign investors, and an environment for increased trading volumes.
The Conference of Development Partners within the World Customs Organization (WCO) for West and Central African region plays a crucial role in fostering collaboration, sharing best practices, and mobilizing resources to enhance customs administration and facilitate trade and economic development in the region. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
We go to Niger State, where residents of Minna, the state capital, have raised their alarm over the recurring incidents of youth restiveness and their attendant negative impact across various parts of the city. While many are calling for action to address the menace, stakeholders have linked the disturbing trend to poor parenting and the increasing abuse of drugs among young people. Trust TV's Abubakar Kote reports.
Communities in areas such as Bakungu, Soje A and B, Metumbi, Waikinsale, Ongwandaji, Kongila, Keterengwari, Alagbado, Kuturko, Geganu, Fadipe, Limawa, Kuta Road, and parts of Boso have witnessed frequent clashes among rival youth groups over the past 2 weeks. Each time these groups take to street to fight, free movement is restricted, businesses disrupted, and innocent citizens either injured or even killed. The long-standing cordial relationships among communities have also been eroded. Some community leaders and stakeholders believe that the root causes of the unrest originate from the home. Compounding the issue is the easy access to hard drugs and other illicit substances. Residents point to a growing number of drug joints operating in the city, including within residential houses and hotels.
Anybody who involved in that case to be arrested. I think you understand me. Even now, any boy who go and commit this thing, when they arrest that boy with this thing, they are ready for that now. Any boy, even my son, if you commit your offense, make the arrest you. The relationship between Keterengwari and Kongila as of the time of our age was cordial. Because as I'm talking to you right now, 50%, almost around 50% of women in Kongila have been married in this area. The Niger state government is set what to call a panel of inquiry. Because we need to get to the root of these issues, not to just treat a symptom and leaving the sickness. Because what we are just doing, we wouldn't say that what the step that government has taken is not yielding any result. It is. But we are just looking at it as a mere treatment of what symptom, not a sickness. Because when you do this, small times things will go down. The next day again, they will now speak. We want to know what is the remote causes.
Rival clashes have also spilled into schools. The Niger state government was recently forced to shut down some secondary schools in Minna due to persistent clashes among rival student groups within the affected institutions.
There is no way security men will cover all households in Minna here. It's not possible. Even in the area, we don't have adequate to cover all the areas. And in terms of technology, we are doing our best. We expect the community to use their lifestyle technology, which is the hand phone, to call the security agencies and say that yes, there are some corporate people that are planning some mining within the area. But people will not do that. They will wait until when this issue has been escalated. You will see hundreds of these children on the streets, and you expect the security men to do magic? It will not work. Therefore, we want the security men to scale up their efforts to ensure that actually Minna is safe. Niger State is safe.
The spokesperson for the Niger State Police Command, SP Wasiu Abiodun, stated that no fewer than 61 suspects have been arrested in connection with the recent unrest in various parts of the city over the past week. Abure Akote, Trust TV News, Mina.
Tons of tomatoes worth millions of naira are being lost every year due to the absence of modern methods of storing the produce, especially in northern Nigeria. In Kaduna State, for instance, farmers produce tomatoes in large quantities but incur losses due to the short lifespan of the produce. However, the loss to farmers is a profitable venture for dry tomato producers at Hunkuyi town as they thrive in the local preservation of tomatoes. Trust TV's Bello Musa, who was at Hunkuyi town in Kudan local government of Kaduna State, completes the story.
Tons of tomatoes are produced every year in Kudan local government area. Kamfa is a historic rock in Hunkuyi. Despite technological advancements, the rock is still used for drying tomatoes for storage. This is our own way of preserving the tomato, so that when there is scarcity of the fresh one, then we bring out the dried one. I use the money I get here to help my parents in paying school fees. I also buy clothes and other basic necessities for the home. 6 years ago, I got the capital to start cutting the tomatoes. But before then, I used to work for people and get paid. But now I run my own business.
We have doing
for Khalid Mbaba, the business assisted him to complete his higher education.
Number one, I get the opportunity to finish my school. Though my parents has contributed a lot to me, but in terms of the situation that we are in now in the country, you must not say that my parents must do all to me. You have to provide something for your own benefit. Now I finish my school. I finished industrial chemistry. I studied industrial chemistry at Kaduna State University.
Though it is a seasonal venture, weather conditions, however, cause disruptions. When the weather is cold, it will be difficult for the tomatoes to dry on time. Although the Kampa is strategically located in Hunkuyi town, with buyers coming from different locations to buy the dried tomatoes, theft and other challenges also affect them. We need a fence so that it will protect us from thieves. To ensure security for the produce, some spend the night guarding the tomatoes against thieves. Hussein Yahaya narrates his encounters with thieves. After the official closing hours, they will come here from 7 to 11 p.m. with sacks to steal the tomatoes. In most cases, we would confront them and chase them away. And at times, they overpower us. Sometimes, they come here around 1 to 2 a.m. and we will engage them, sometimes till dawn, before we chase them away.
Can karhe 1 zuwa karhe 2 za su iya dawowa har zuwa asuba muna fafata da su.
Farmers in Kudan local government also appeal to the government to provide them with modern storage facilities and also establish a tomato processing factory to curb the waste that results in losses of tomatoes worth millions of naira every year. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The federal government has stated its commitment to science-based approaches in improving Nigeria's soil, describing soil health as key to achieving food security. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sebi Abdullahi, disclosed this at the Center for Dryland Agriculture, Bayero University, Kano, where he held a parley with the press to discuss issues related to agriculture and food security. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim brings us more.
Lack of soil data and slow adoption of mechanized farming are a few of the problems bedeviling Nigeria's agricultural sector. As part of the challenges, not up to 50% of the arable land in Nigeria is being cultivated, with average crop yield of most food staples lower when compared to other African countries, with Nigeria's agricultural mechanization index at 0.27 compared to 1.7 in Africa and a global index of 2.5. A revolution in agricultural mechanization is far overdue. While much attention has been given over the years to improving crop yield, farming in Nigeria has not seen significant evolution in soil management practices, raising concerns. While attending the annual conference of the Soil Science Society of Nigeria, the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, called on experts to provide data that will create value for crops grown in Nigeria.
As part of looking at whatever we want to do as a nation, if we are able to create profiles of our soils in different areas and relate it to the taste, aroma of the crops produced there, especially those food crops, I think we will have been creating value. And there is nothing any country can do today in creating value that is better than just creating that value. Because if you are able to do that, that soil is there, it's your God-given, asset, and I think if you manage it well, it will help us.
At a press briefing, the director of the Center for Dryland Agriculture and the president of the Soil Science Society of Nigeria, Professor Jibril Mohammed, provided context on where Nigeria stands with regard to the current state of soil health.
We have a population that is growing at an exponential rate. In 1960, at independence, we were 38 million people in Nigeria. There were 38 million people. Today, the estimates are around 230 million. Land area is the same. Additional methods we had before of following, you allow the land to rest, God will naturally allow it to regenerate. We don't have that luxury because we have to farm the land every day. And we are moving things. We are exposing it to erosion. So, working with the ministry, we are developing information, we are guiding the ministry to generate policies and activities that will improve food production.
The Minister of State for Agriculture, while addressing the press, spoke on major steps so far taken to provide adequate soil data and promote mechanized agriculture across all 774 local government areas.
Experts have given us this knowledge, and different countries have applied this knowledge to better the condition of their farmers. So the question is, why not Nigerian farmers? That is why we are here with the National Farmer Soil Health Care Scheme. And this scheme, like I said, will help us to support farmers with laboratory analysis of their farms. Samples will be taken. That way, a typical farmer will know what is the type of fertilizer I'm supposed to apply. What is the type of crop that will grow there. The federal government mechanization scheme is on course. We have about 3 to 4 mechanization programs that are already at advanced stage. Just recently, about 3 weeks ago, we signed the Green Imperative Project, which is a project between the government of Nigeria and the government of Brazil, but it is going to be private sector driven and government enabled. So we've started the first phase, and this itself is designed also to support the Nigerian farmer to be more productive, to reduce the cost of production.
Given the urgency in adopting innovative farming practices, it is hoped that these policies, once implemented, will secure a sustainable future for Nigeria's agriculture and food security. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
It was a blend of glitz and glamour when Mikano Motors handed over a brand new Chagan 8 Plus car to the newly crowned 45th Miss Nigeria lawyer and model Doris Oga at an event held at Mikano Ultra Modern Showroom in Victoria Island, Lagos. Trust TV reports that the presentation of the vehicle, a brand of Chagan Automobile of China, marks the beginning of the partnership between Mikano Motors and the iconic Miss Nigeria pageant, which exemplifies Nigerian women's beauty, strength, and resilience. The report.
It was a gathering of representatives from Mikano International, the parent company of Mikano Motors, as well as the Chinese automaker Chang'an, to celebrate women empowerment, support for talents, and promotion of arts, which the Miss Nigeria beauty pageant represents. December 2024, the 26-year-old lawyer and model representing the South-South region had emerged as the 45th Miss Nigeria after a keenly contested grand finale held in Lagos. Mikano Motors, in fulfillment of its partnership with Miss Nigeria organization, however, handed a brand new vehicle to the winner, like the CS15, CS35 Plus, CS55, CS85, Yando DT, Yando Plus. Just in 2024, the all-new CS95 and the X7 Plus were also unveiled to the excitement of the auto enthusiasts, while Mikano continues to provide bespoke after-sales services for the users of the Chang'an vehicles. Chairman of the Mikano International, who expressed excitement with the partnership with Miss Nigeria project, said it aligns with Mikano's commitment to support excellence, innovation, and empowerment, which the Chang'an models also represent. He explained that the Chinese cars compete with some of the best cars in the world, adding that no vehicle gives a 6-year warranty with unlimited mileage like the Chang'an models.
Luxurious only, the trust only, there is no car who gives 6 years guarantee in their car except Chang'an. They are giving unlimited mileage for 6 years, and I don't think anybody will use a car more than 6 years in Nigeria. But they are giving us the guarantee because they are sure about the product.
Mab Karameh, Group Executive Director, Mikano International, stated that Mikano has always stood as a proud supporter of the nation's arts, culture, and entertainment industry, saying the company is committed to fostering creativity and talents of Nigerian origin.
We will continue to support and uplift our talents, and we trust that the values of Miss Nigeria will shine brightly in our society and will inspire the next generation of female leaders.
Also, Mr. Tom Yin, Vice General Manager, Chang'an Middle East and Africa, said the beauty pageant focuses on the remarkable achievements of Nigerian women, such as wisdom, leadership, and cultural advocacy. He said it aligns perfectly with Chang'an Automobiles Global, in quotes, our power initiative, which aims to inspire a new generation of women to pursue their dreams.
We're very happy, and we're continuing to provide equality in our workspace. So this is one of the very reasons why Stephanie is in charge of the sales of whole Africa continent.
Queen Doris Oga, the 45th Miss Nigeria, who expressed excitement to have won the pageant and received the Yando Plus, said winning the Miss Nigeria title is life-changing for her. She said the vehicle is not just a means of transportation, but it represents the journey ahead, one filled with purpose, advocacy, and impact.
With this crown comes great responsibility, and so I intend to use my platform to champion access to quality education and job opportunities for girls and women across Nigeria, because I am a product of one.
Legendary Nollywood queen and chairman of the Miss Nigerian Bird, Mrs. Rita Dominic Anosiki, stated that the car symbolizes more than mobility, but a drive to fulfill purpose as an ambassador for change. She said the Miss Nigerian pageant represents empowerment of women.
I mean, first and foremost, Miss Nigeria is the only recognized pageant in this country. It's been in existence since 1957, empowering queens, helping them reach their goals, achieve their dreams, and that's the same thing we're here to do today. You heard Queen Doris earlier on. This is her first car. I mean, that says a lot.
With a partnership with Mikano Motors, the road is now clear for Queen Doris Oga to blaze new trails and inspire the next generation of Nigerian queens yearning to be a part of the legacy of Miss Nigeria.
It's time for business. The Nigerian Naira appreciated to 1,615 Naira to $1 at the official exchange rate market on Tuesday, strengthening from Monday's closing rate of 1,629 naira per dollar. This is according to data published on the Central Bank of Nigeria's official website. The marginal gain in the official exchange rate follows renewed interventions by the Apex Bank aimed at easing pressure on the local currency and reducing volatility in the foreign exchange market. In the parallel market, however, the naira traded at 1,610 naira to a dollar on Tuesday, slightly above the official rate. According to nairametrics sources at Zone 4, the narrowing gap between both rates suggests growing effectiveness of recent monetary actions by the CBN, according to market operators. And foreign scene, Nigerian military government has officially made Hausa the country's new national language, moving away from its colonial past where French played a central role. The change was announced in a new charter released on March 31 and published in a special edition of the government's official journal. According to the document, the national language is Hausa, while the working languages are English and French. Hausa is already the most commonly spoken language across Niger, especially in the Zender, Maradi, and Tahoua regions. Most of the country's population of about 26 million people understand and speak Hausa. In comparison, only around 3 million people, just 13%, can speak French. Former Congolese President Joseph Kabila has broken his silence after several years, announcing his imminent return to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In a statement, Kabila explained that he is returning due to the country's out-of-control situation, citing worsening security issues and the collapse of national institutions. While no exact date was given, sources close to Kabila suggest he could arrive in the coming days through the eastern region, which he describes as being in critical danger. Kabila has been living in South Africa for a year, working on a thesis about Congo's relations with China. However, it seems that the project is now on hold. Kabila's return also coincides with the political activities of this party, the PPRD, which recently rejected President Felix Tshisekedi's call for national unity talks. Following their death sentences from a military tribunal in September 2024, the three Americans who successfully attempted a coup against the government of President Felix Tshisekedi are now back in U.S. custody and will serve their sentences in the U.S. Among the three Americans was 21-year-old Marcel Malanga, son of opposition figure Christian Malanga, who led failed coup attempt that targeted the presidential palace in Kinshasa. The elder Malanga, who live-streamed from the palace during the attempt, was later killed while resisting arrest, Congolese authorities disclosed. Marcel Malanga has said his father forced him to take part. Also perpetrated were Tyler Thompson Jr., 21 years of age, a friend of the younger Malanga, who flew to Africa from Utah for what his family believed to be Benjamin Ruben Zalman Pulon, 36 years of age, was reported to have known Christian Malanga through a gold mining company. The pardon and repatriation came amid efforts by Congolese authorities to sign a minerals deal with the U.S. in exchange for security support in the fight against rebels in Eastern DRC. Still here in Africa, in South Sudan, the country has reversed its decision of refusing the entry of a man deported from the U.S. on its territory in the spirit of friendly relations with Washington, according to the South Sudanese government. The two countries have been in a visa row after the U.S. imposed a blanket visa ban on South Sudan on the 5th of April and accused the country of failing to accept the citizens deported from American territory in a timely manner. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio further said that South Sudanese citizens would be prohibited from entering U.S. territory. The transitional government in Juba had then initially refused the entry of a man that said it was a citizen of the Democratic Republic of Congo and not of South Sudan, before backtracking on its decision on Tuesday. The row between the two countries also comes as fears have been growing that South Sudan might redescend into civil war in the face of increasing political instability. Over in Estonia in Europe, the president on Wednesday signed into law a constitutional amendment banning non-EU citizens from taking part in local elections, a move targeting the large Russian minority in the Baltic state. Lawmakers voted overwhelmingly in favor of the change on March 26 as fears grow about security in the country since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. President Ala Kadisi's office announced the ban on third country nationals participating in local elections in a statement saying it was about protecting the unity of Estonian society. But in a statement, it urged those affected by the ban not to think that they had been excluded from society or believe that the state sees them only as a security risk. The new measure will primarily affect some 80,000 Russians living in the former Soviet Republic, which gained independence in 1991. Another foreign saying 3 genetically engineered wolves that may resemble extinct dire wolves are threatening.
So a gray wolf is the closest living relative of a dire wolf. They're genetically really similar, 99.5% similar.
Lost species. The wolf pups, which range in age from 3 to 6 months old, have long white hair, muscular jaws, and already weigh in at around 80 pounds, on track to reach 140 pounds at maturity. Researchers at Colossal Biosciences reported Monday dire wolves, which went extinct more than 10,000 years old, are much larger than grey wolves, their closest living relatives today. Independent scientists said this latest effort doesn't mean dire wolves are coming back to North American grasslands anytime soon. Colossal scientists learned about specific traits that dire wolves possessed by examining ancient DNA from fossils. The researchers studied a 13,000-year-old dire wolf tooth unearthed in Ohio and a 72,000-year-old skull fragment found in Idaho, both part of Natural History Museum collections. Then the scientists took blood cells from a living grey wolf and used CRISPR to genetically modify them into 20 different sites, said Colossal's chief scientist Beth Shapiro. Ondo State Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa has dissolved the management board of the Ondo State Football Agency. This was announced in a statement issued by the governor's chief press secretary Ebenezer Adeniyo in Akure, the state capital. According to the statement, the executive chairman of the board, Dele Ologun, along with other members, has been relieved of their duties with immediate effect and have been directed to hand over all government property in their possession to the agency's accounting officer. Governor Aiyedatiwa has also approved the appointment of a caretaker committee to oversee the affairs of Sunshine Stars Football Club. The committee will be led by Tokumbo Akinyelure, who will serve as team manager and welfare officer. Let's join Adini Ajishafe for more sports news.
Seven-time champion Flying Eagles of Nigeria have moved back to Abuja as they intensify preparations for the 24th African Under-20 Cup of Nations in Egypt. The contingent returned to Abuja after a 3-week training program in Katsina, where they had gone to camp in order to feel the weather, which was found to be the same with that of Cote d'Ivoire. The country originally designated to host the tournament, with Cote d'Ivoire pulling out as host nation in the last hour. Egypt, host of the last edition in 2023, stepped in as host. The team will train at FIFA Go Project training pitch for training sessions before departing for Egypt next week. Head coach Ali Zubairu, who led the team to defend WAFU B Under-20 Championship in Togo in October, has invited a total of 35 players, including 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 10 midfielders and 10 forwards. All 4 semi-finalists in Egypt will qualify to represent Africa at 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup final scheduled for Chile from 27 September to 18 October. And in basketball, Rivers Upas head coach Ogo Odaudu has assured his team will do better in the next game of the Kalahari Conference. The Kingsmen were handed their first slot of the 2025 Basketball African League BAL campaign, falling 80-100 to Egypt's Al Ittihad in their third game at the Sari Omnisport More Abdallah Arena in Rabat, Morocco on Tuesday. Odaudu said the team had 20 turnovers and did not really score, while they also need to box out better. With 2 wins and 1 defeat, Rivers Upas will look to bounce bounce back when they face Morocco's FCS Rabat on Thursday, 10th April. A victory will be vital in their quest to secure a playoff spot. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
Ends News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news programs, documentaries, to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.